AI is no longer just text on a screen, beat. It is demanding massive power grids, it is causing global geopolitical friction, and now, beat. It is literally growing hands and legs to walk around the physical world.
Yeah, it is wild to see. I mean, we're watching code crash straight into reality here.
We are. 2-sec silence. Welcome to today's deep dive. I am glad you are here with us. We're taking a stack of fresh newsletter sources to explore how AI is breaking out of the software layer and crashing into physical reality.
Right, and we've got a lot to cover today. We're looking at Anthropic's massive new climate commitments, for one. And then there's this intense global political fight over, an American AI off switch. Plus, Alibaba's new breakthrough in giving AI physical bodies is a packed work.
Before AI can walk, it has to eat. Beat. And right now, it is eating the power grid.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, training these frontier models requires just immense uninterrupted electricity, which brings us to Anthropic. They actually just became the first AI startup to join the Frontier Carbon Coalition.
I want to break down what this coalition actually does, Beat, because it was originally founded by major tech players, companies like Stripe, Google, and Shopify.
Yeah, exactly. And it basically acts as a massive vetting machine for carbon removal credits. And we are not talking about, planting a few trees here. Anthropic is contributing to a new $915 million funding tranche.
Wow. That is a significant amount of capital.
It really is. That fresh money nearly doubles Frontier's total pledges to $1.8 billion. And to date, the coalition has contracted about $700 million to remove 1.8 million tons of carbon across 50 different projects.
That feels like a major philosophical shift for Anthropic. They previously leaned on an all-of-the-above energy approach, which naturally implies utilizing some polluting power sources to get that constant baseload power.
Right, because data centers, they just kind of can't wait for the wind to blow. They need 247 power. So this is Anthropic's first major climate deal. And Frontier itself is, fundamentally shifting its strategy right now.
They are moving away from funding smaller experiments.
Yeah, exactly. They're moving away from dozens of small projects. They want fewer massive projects now. The explicit goal is removing a gigaton of CO2 annually on these 8 to 10-year contracts.
A gigaton. Beat. That is 1 billion metric tons. It is like shifting from planting a few trees in the backyard to building a global industrial-scale carbon recycling plant.
That is a great analogy. You need direct air capture facilities, like giant industrial fans sucking in the atmosphere, chemically binding the CO2 and burying it underground.
Yeah.
But to reach that gigaton scale, they're trying to guarantee a market exists so these massive factories can actually get built.
Hold on, Beat. There is a strict new rule here that gives me pause. Frontier requires these projects to show a clear path to government subsidy by 2040. Why the strict requirement to hand the ultimate bill to the public sector?
Well, that's the critical tension, right? Private tech money can really only kickstart the market. Removing a gigaton of carbon annually requires infrastructure on the scale of, the global highway system. Tech companies can de-risk the early technology, sure, but maintaining utility-scale public works over decades. That structurally requires government-level funding.
So tech funds the start, but taxpayers must eventually take the wheel.
That is the exact gamble they are making. It's a multi-decade baton pass. If governments don't step in, the infrastructure just eventually collapses under its own operating costs.
But building these gigaton-scale power grids introduces a new vulnerability, Beat. That massive infrastructure is not just about energy. It is driving billions of dollars and creating incredibly high-stakes global politics.
The geopolitical panic is so palpable right now. I mean, look at the sudden Fable 5 ban overseas. A new letter from the U.S. Commerce Secretary to Dario Amodei just surfaced, giving hidden context on why access to those specific frontier models was frozen so suddenly for international users.
And we are seeing immediate pushback on the global stage. Beat. At the G7 summit, Emmanuel Macron and Narendra Modi explicitly pushed back against these U.S. restrictions, the same restrictions that froze Claude Fable and Mythos.
Right, world leaders are waking up to this harsh reality. They desperately want American AI capabilities to drive their economies, but they explicitly do not want an American off switch. They're looking at their critical infrastructure like banking, healthcare, logistics running on intelligence, hosted in data centers controlled by Washington.
We should look at this impartially. The QBES clearly has profound national security concerns regarding these frontier models. Conversely, the G7 partners have entirely valid national sovereignty concerns. They fear sudden economic blackouts. Both sides are operating on fundamentally different yet entirely rational priorities. 2-sec silence.
Absolutely. And that geopolitical bottleneck is, well, it's forcing a massive hardware pivot. If nations can't rely on cloud APIs, they need local compute. I mean, look at China's response. DeepSeek just raised $7.4 billion at a $50 billion valuation.
Making them China's most valuable AI startup, Beat, and the founder backed it with $3 billion of his own money.
Yeah, Liang Wenfeng. It's immense conviction to secure independent compute power. This bottleneck isn't just global. It's hitting everyday consumer devices right now. Apple is facing what industry insiders are calling Ramageddon.
Ramageddon, Beat. That is a wonderfully vivid term.
It is less wonderful for consumers, though. Apple indicates a massive memory price increase is essentially unavoidable. It could force a $270 price hike across future iPhones, Macs, and iPads.
That is a staggering jump for consumer hardware, Beat. Why is Apple suddenly facing Ramageddon right now?
It comes down to how a neural network physically operates. Traditional apps, they just sit memory. You load a photo and you close it. But running a frontier AI model locally means storing billions of parameters. The entire neural network basically has to sit in active, high-bandwidth memory simultaneously to generate a single word.
Bigger AI models simply demand more memory to run on our personal devices.
Exactly. You can't just page AI weights to a slow hard drive. But while hardware gets expensive, the everyday integration of these models is accelerating fast. Have you seen the viral index from artificial analysis?
I have. Beat. It maps top models by capability versus their actual running cost.
Yeah, and it proves a vital point. Not all frontier models are expensive, and not all expensive models are necessarily the best.
The deployment is getting incredibly smooth. Beat. Anthropic's applied AI team showed how Claude-managed agents are now running in production.
Right, they are no longer theoretical.
Yeah.
And the competition is driving massive value. Copilot Cowork is now generally available. Half of the Fortune 500 already use it.
And it claims to be 30 to 40% cheaper than Claude Cowork. Beat. It is embedding into everything. Grok is now a free add-in for PowerPoint.
Yeah, it takes a rough outline and just generates a research deck. And Google just launched a new $99 home speaker that handles completely messy commands. Like, you could stutter, change your mind mid-sentence, and it just follows the chaotic human logic perfectly.
I have a vulnerable admission to make here. Beat. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself. Seeing how smoothly these new tools handle messy, real-world human workflows is inspiring.
Oh, me too. It really shows we're moving past the era of rigid prompt engineering. We aren't learning to speak to the machine anymore. The machine is finally learning to speak to us.
But handling these massive local models requires totally new infrastructure. Beat. Developers are building a totally new software layer purely for AI agents.
Yes, the tooling ecosystem is just exploding right now. Look at the new Minimax M3. It's an open-weight model that combines frontier-level coding, a 1 million token context window, and multimodal support.
For the listener who isn't a developer, Beat, what does an open-weight model actually mean?
Think of a closed model like a baked cake. You can eat it, but you can't unbake it to change the recipe. An open-weight model gives you the exact ratio of flour, sugar, and eggs. It gives you the neural network's parameters so you can tweak the recipe for your own needs.
Anyone can download and modify the core model architecture for their own specific needs.
Precisely. And that customizability is empowering developers to build wild new platforms. Take Cursor's origin. It is a Git hosting platform built specifically for AI agents.
Code management designed for bots. Beat. The documentation says it allows automated conflict resolution. How does that actually work without a human?
Well, if Agent A changes the database schema and Agent B builds a new website button, Origin understands the purpose of both. It automatically rewrites the button's code to match the new database schema without a human ever mediating. It's true agent-to-agent collaboration.
That is fascinating. Beat. Then there's Hermes Agent. It adds official Stripe skills directly into the model.
Yeah, to let agents make real financial payments, they can launch their own SaaS products safely. And look at Greeley. It's finding creators based on real-time habits and moving conversations into structured deal workflows automatically.
Giving agents the ability to negotiate legal deals or swipe a credit card. Beat. It feels like a massive threshold crossed.
It definitely raises the stakes. I mean, we are building an autonomous economic layer.
So agents finally understand the purpose of our code and our money.
They do. And the thresholds just keep falling. We're crossing the biggest one right now. Mid-roll sponsor read.
We have seen AI consume global power grids. Beat.
Yeah.
It has disrupted international geopolitics. It is managing our code and our money. Now, Beat. Alibaba is finally giving it a physical body.
This is where the science fiction becomes our daily reality. Alibaba just unveiled the Qwen-Robot Suite to achieve physical world intelligence.
They broke this massive problem down into 3 specialized foundation models.
Yeah.
Beat. First, there is Qwen-Robot Manip.
Right. Basically the hands. It's trained on over 38,000 hours of pure robotics data to translate visual inputs and natural language directly into precise physical manipulation. It learns how to grasp, turn, and pull.
Next is Qwen-Robot Nav. Beat. These are the legs.
Exactly. It handles complex spatial reasoning to navigate unseen environments. It avoids obstacles it has never encountered before.
Finally, there's Qwen-Robot World. Beat. This is the simulator, a video world model.
And this is the real breakthrough. Traditional robots learn by physical trial and error, which means they fall over constantly. The simulator model uses real-time visual data to predict future trajectories in a digital space.
How does the simulator model change the way robots learn?
It allows the AI to test physics digitally. The AI watches a video of a cup falling, learns the implicit rule of gravity, and simulates the physics in its mind. It runs countless virtual iterations before moving a single physical servo.
It lets robots safely practice physical tasks in a digital dream world first.
Yes, a digital dream. And according to Alibaba, this framework excels at out-of-distribution generalization.
Adapting to totally new, unexpected situations without explicit training.
Right. If you drop it in a kitchen it has never seen, it can still open a drawer it has never encountered. It's not just executing a hard-coded script, it's exhibiting genuine spatial exploration.
Whoa.
P-land.
Imagine scaling to 1 billion queries. Those queries are robots making physical decisions. 2-sec silence.
It shifts our entire relationship with technology. AI is stepping out of the browser and into the living room. Let's pull all these threads together.
The big takeaway today is the physicalization of AI. Beat. This technology started as simple chatbots. Today, we saw the entire physical pipeline emerge.
It requires immense physical energy, driving 1.8 million tons of carbon removal through the Frontier Coalition just to power the data centers.
Then it hits our physical hardware. Beat. It triggers a Ramageddon on our personal phones, potentially forcing a $270 hardware tax.
Which escalates into physical geopolitics. G7 leaders pushing back against American off-switches because their local compute is constrained.
And ultimately, it steps directly into reality. Beat, Alibaba's Qwen foundation models are driving robotic hands and legs. AI is no longer a software abstraction.
It is sharing our physical space now.
I want to leave you with a new question to mull over. Beat. If an autonomous robot with physical world intelligence causes damage in a foreign country, but its actions were suddenly frozen by an American off-switch built into its underlying frontier model, who ultimately holds the legal liability? 2-sec silence.
That is the multi-trillion-dollar question we have to answer next.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Beat. Keep questioning everything you see. We will see you next time. Outro music.